The myTouch line continues to grow on T-Mobile with 2 additional devices that are rolling out on August 8th. How's it going, guys? I'm Aaron from PhoneDog.com, and I'm here with the T-Mobile myTouch Q. Now, this is the Q version, obviously, of the myTouch line because it's packing a physical QWERTY keyboard. It's a little bit thicker, but it's coming in on August 8th for the same price as the myTouch, $49.99 with a $50 mail-in rebate. Specs-wise, very similar to the other myTouch, also designed by Huawei. It's got a 1.4 gigahertz single-core Snapdragon S2 processor, a 4-inch display, a 5-megapixel camera, and more. Is this the best device to get, or should you go with one of the high-end devices and kind of spring and spend the extra money? We'll find out in the unboxing, but first, special thanks to our friends at Best Buy Mobile for hooking us up with phones like this and like the myTouch for use in our One Paw Bandit giveaway game. When you go into Best Buy Mobile, you won't deal with rebates. I hate rebates. I'm sure you do too. The paperwork, the waiting 8 to 10 weeks, it gets old. At Best Buy Mobile, you won't deal with any of that garbage. Let's take a look. myTouch Q, is this the ultimate keyboard device to get on T-Mobile? Or should you go with something else or maybe forego the keyboard for one of the higher end devices? We'll find out in the full unboxing, which starts right now. T-Mobile's myTouch Q is one of 2 new myTouch devices coming to T-Mobile retail stores on August 8th for $49.99 with a $50 mail-in rebate and new 2-year agreement. So this is the Q, this is the keyboarded version, if you will, of the new myTouch devices. Both are designed by Huawei, not to be confused with Huawei or Huawei, it's pronounced Huawei. And again, you know, with myTouch devices being announced by LG previously, and then these with Huawei, it can get kind of confusing, but these are the latest iterations in the myTouch line. Now, specs-wise, like I said in the myTouch unboxing video, these aren't anything that's going to blow away a high-end user. This has a 1.4 gigahertz single-core Snapdragon S2 processor, a 4-inch WVGA display with 800 by 480 pixels, a 1,500 milliamp hour battery, Android 2.3.6, but this one brings to the table a physical QWERTY keyboard, whereas the other myTouch does not. They're both the same price, they're both coming out at the same time, and they're both very similar in terms of design. The difference here, this one moves around a few things. First of all, a micro USB charging port on the left instead of the bottom, volume rocker over on the left, you got your camera button in the same place, and then of course your power button and 3.5mm headphone jack along with a 5-megapixel camera on the back that shoots video at 720p. Where this one is different, it's a little bit thicker, 0.56 inches thick to be exact, and comes in at 6.5 ounces as opposed to 4.9 ounces on the other myTouch, which of course is also designed by Huawei. But design-wise, very similar. Menu button, home button, back button, and then a Genius button down here at the bottom. And it does have T-Mobile's HSPA Plus or 4G capabilities built in. So you do get access to the 4G network along with a front-facing camera. So let's take a look. You know, I see this one for mid-range Android buyers that want a physical keyboard, whether they're sending and receiving a bunch of emails, perhaps they're doing text messages. This could be the perfect device for them. Maybe they don't want to do a Galaxy S3 or an Amaze 4G or any of the higher-end devices. Perhaps they're budget locked. This could be a decent device, despite the fact that it doesn't have ice cream sandwich out of the gate. So it's loading up right now. Let's take a look at T-Mobile's newest myTouch device. And while we're doing that, let's see what comes in the box. You get an AC adapter module right here. You can see nothing too amazing there. And then, of course, Huawei's AC adapter, or excuse me, USB cable rather there. An AC adapter module down here with the Huawei logo, and then your USB entry point right there. So nothing too amazing in the box, but again, outside of that, and of course, some instruction manuals and a T-Mobile SIM card, start guide, terms and conditions, and that is about, I'm sorry, there's something else down in there. Let's see, handset recycling program, and then of course, safety and warranty information. Outside of that, that's about all I would expect, considering the device is $50 on contract. That said, here we go. Welcome to your new T-Mobile myTouch smartphone. Let's go ahead and get started and get through this so we can take a look. But again, Android 2.3.6 out of the gate here, so not running the latest build of Jelly Bean or even Ice Cream Sandwich, which is still kind of frustrating considering these are brand new devices. This should be rolling out with at least Ice Cream Sandwich. That said, I have a feeling the configurations on these devices are pretty interesting to say the least with the myTouch configuration. So again, menu, home, back, and Genius buttons down here at the bottom, and some pretty interesting noises. Mobile Life checking status now, and you can see just the notifications bar, for example. You got Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS, auto rotate. Got one of the other myTouch devices on my desk going nuts over here. Must be an exciting day for stuff. And then over here you can see the dock at the bottom. That is going to get annoying pretty quickly. Let me go ahead and turn this off. And let's see here. There we go. We can turn that one off. So you can see over here, menu button, so you can see all apps, downloads, recent applications that I've used, and then the T-Mobile stuff. So out of the gate, you get 411 and more. You get Access T-Mobile, Amazon, browser, And then, of course, CMAS, which I'm not quite sure what that is. Let's take a look and see what this is. CMAS. Let's wait for it to load up so you can see 4G connectivity up there in the top, and it is not doing a whole lot outside of saying settings. Let's see. Cell broadcast. Okay, so amber alerts, severe alerts, extreme alerts, things like that. So when you get that severe weather alert, it'll pop up. Should actually pop up in your messages. But anyway, DLNA in here, game base. You got your Genius stuff, Genius search, Genius button, Mobile Life Organizer, Monopoly Classic, More For Me. So a lot of T-Mobile stuff pre-installed out of the gate, like More For Me, Music Hub, Netflix stuff there as well. And then T-Mobile Setup, or myTouch Setup, I should say. T-Mobile Mall, T-Mobile TV, and then T-Mobile Name ID as well. Tips and tutorials, lots of stuff. Visual voicemail, Wild Tangent, Words with Friends for free. And let's see, and of course in your downloads you can see Google Play Store right there. And shortcuts down here at the bottom, messages, browser, and email. So before we go forward, let's take a look at the messages because I want to show you the keyboard on here. Cancel. Too much going on. Let's see here. And then of course, you're composing. And we'll select the input method and see what comes out of the gate. Android keyboard out of the gate, so stock gingerbread keyboard. Swipe out of the box as well. So swipe's your thing. You can use that, which is clearly not my thing, as you can see here. I stick to the plain Jane keyboards. Hey there, or Hardy there, how are you doing? And then, of course, the physical keyboard. 4-inch display here should be relatively easy for most people to type on it. It's going to be a little bit small for some people that are coming from 4.3, 4.5, 4.8, and then 5.3, etc. But you got your keyboard here, island keys separated, and you can see up close. Let's bring that up so you can take a look here. Got a little bit of a raised feel over here on the keyboard, and we'll do something like the Quick Brown Fox. Quick Brown Fox is hungry. Quick Brown Fox is hungry. Relatively easy to type on. I'll still do some additional testing. Relatively easy, tactile enough. That said, I've seen better keyboards on things like the Droid 3 and the Droid 4 and more. But again, keeping in mind that you get this device for 50 bucks, it's not bad to say the least. Let's take a look at browsing as well. 4G HSPA Plus capabilities on this device, so we'll load up Phone Dog so you can take a look at that. There we are, the best news in phone reviews. 4-inch display here, again, going to be decent for media, going to be okay for browsing the web, looking at YouTube videos. That said, it's not going to be ideal in comparison to something like the Galaxy S3 with a 4.8-inch display, the 1X, or even the 1S with a 4.3-inch display, which you can obviously get on T-Mobile. So pinch to zoom, relatively responsive. Again, keep in mind here, 1.4 gigahertz single-core Snapdragon S2 processor pre-installed out of the gate. And last but not least, I want to see if we can remove some of this T-Mobile bloatware. So we'll go into Applications, we'll say Manage Applications, and let's see what we've got here. All 411, looks like I can't uninstall. I'm just going to scroll through some of these and see if I can get rid of them. Looks like most of this stuff is on there and on there for good. You can force stop a couple of things. Let's see. More For Me, Monopoly Classic. Looks like most of this stuff is on here and can be removed. That said, you got some custom applications here, custom look and feel as a result of the myTouch user interface, call log, contacts, favorites, and then a different dial pad as well. Last but not least, let's scroll through here and take a look. I want to find one more thing for you, and we'll talk actually really quickly. 5 home screens here out of the gate, and then let's see if you can pinch to zoom. Looks like you can't pinch to zoom here. And you've got some custom widgets. Looks like a few Huawei widgets. That weather one is new. And then some T-Mobile stuff as well, along with the stock Google widgets, of course. And you can see there as we scroll through, weather looks a little bit different. Looks like a Huawei customized weather widget. And let's take a look at the Genius button by pressing it. Let's see what we got here. It's vibrating, so it looks like it's responding. Let's see what we got. Come on. There we go, Genius. And let's see. Skip that. And let's accept. And let's cancel that. Let's see what we've got. Looks like we have some abilities to do a couple of different things here. I can send a text, I can make a phone call, I can search the web, and I can navigate to as well. So once it gets my contacts list and it listens to me like it's creepily doing right now, it can find cool stuff. See what it finds. Loading up, it's thinking, it's thinking. But again, you know, keeping in mind, oh, there we go. Okay, so it's bringing up a couple of different things here. Google, Fandango, IMDb, a couple of different. It's bringing up some theaters. Want to catch a movie in the middle of the workday? I can do it, thanks to the myTouch Q. Much more coverage to come on PhoneDog.com with this little mid-range Android phone, the myTouch Q with a physical QWERTY keyboard. something nice in a world of all big slab touchscreens. Keep it locked on PhoneDog.com for continuing coverage. Be sure to like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/PhoneDog. Hit us up. We're always giving away cool stuff, doing cool things on there. Follow me on Twitter as well. Let me know what you think of these devices. PhoneDog_Aaron, and on Facebook at Facebook.com/PhoneDogAB. Stay tuned for more on T-Mobile's newest myTouch devices. We'll see you next time.